Hi there, ladies. I'm Atara Matthews from South Africa, and our chapter that we're looking at this week is chapter 7, Chaste and Respectful. So let me share my screen. Okay, so let's have a look at the scripture where the heading of this chapter comes from. In 1 Peter 3, verse 1 to 2, it says, "In the same way, you wives, be submissive to your own husbands, so that even if any of them are disobedient to the word, they may be won without a word by the behavior of their wives as they observe your chaste and respectful behavior." So that's where the heading of this chapter comes from. So let's look at the word chaste. And chaste means clean, genuine, immaculate, pure, blameless, innocent, sincere, undefiled, virgin, virtuous. So for me, growing up, I didn't have an older woman in my life who came to me and spoke to me about being um, clean and pure and innocent and undefiled, a virgin, virtuous. Nobody came to me and spoke to me about that. And, looking back, I really wish that somebody, an older woman, would have came to me and spoken to me about this. Um, Also, for me, I have to share that not being virtuous caused problems in my marriage a couple of years later, because I remember having a conversation with my earthly husband about my previous relationships. And he questioned me about it. And, I was not innocent or pure. And I had to, I told him the truth. And it really caused a lot of problems in my marriage. And it wasn't long after that my earthly husband had an affair. And so for me, that is why reading this chapter just made so much sense for me, and why I needed to share it with my 16-year-old daughter. While I've shared it with her about a year or two back already. And so innocent meaning free from guilt or sin. So you can have a look, come and read and have a look at Daniel, Job, as well as Paul. They were all innocent and blameless and free from guilt. And so, yeah, there's a heading that says our daughters. So, this chapter is really important for us to share with our daughters. And, let's look at this. I highlighted this. It says virtue means excellence. So, I didn't know that. So, when you come across scriptures that means excellence, means virtue. So, over here, it says in Ruth 3, verse 11, it says, "And now, my daughter, do not fear. I will do whatever you ask, for all my people in the city know that you are a woman of excellence." So, a woman of excellence is a woman of virtue. And I didn't know that. So, that was really good. It was something good for me to learn. And so, in Proverbs 31, verse 10, it says, "An excellent wife who can find? And who can find a virtuous woman?" And so, yeah, I needed to teach this to my daughter, that, she needed to be an excellent wife, a virtuous wife to someone one day. And also, an excellent or virtuous wife is the crown of her husband. And so, further down in the chapter, it speaks about respectful and a lot of other things. And so for me, this was really a good chapter, because I was not a very respectful wife before I went through my separation and divorce. I was a very disrespectful wife, and there were many times when I would remember all of the things that I wanted to, when I had a chance, I wanted to tell my husband, my earthly husband, that he had done wrong. And so really, I was a wife that didn't have much respect for him as the leader of our family. And coming to read this chapter was a real eye opener for me. And it was also something that it was also a chapter that when I read it the first time, I knew that I needed to actually share it with my daughters. So, yeah. So, as I always say, I'll leave the links in the description for the audio and for you to come and read this chapter if you'd like to read it, or to listen if you'd like to read. And yeah, you can journal as well. So yeah, come back next week for the next lesson. Hi there, ladies. Please come and visit us at hopeatlast.com. Click on blog, where we share daily praise reports, ministry information, lessons, and ministry resources. You can sign up to receive our daily newsletter. You can click on free courses for our free marriage courses, and you can click on our give button, which will take you to PayPal, where you can donate and give and sow into the fertile soil of restoring marriages.